So, let's talk about something that's basically baked into our DNA. What is it that drives us to explore? I mean, from the deepest parts of the ocean to the farthest reaches of space, there's just something in us that keeps pushing towards the unknown. Okay, let's get into it.
But it's a totally fair question to ask these days. With satellite maps in our pockets and planes that can zip across continents, what on earth is actually left to explore? Seriously, have we charted every corner and climbed every mountain?
Well, the thing is, the answer might be a little more profound than you think. Maybe the greatest frontiers we have left aren't on any map at all. The whole idea of what it means to explore, it's changing.
To really get where we're going, we've got to look at where we've been. Because this call to explore, it's not new. It's this ancient, powerful drive that's been part of the human story forever.
For literally thousands of years, exploration meant one thing: pushing into the physical unknown. I mean, picture the ancient Greeks out on the open sea with nothing but the stars to guide them. Or think about Lewis and Clark in 1804, heading into a continent of mysteries. 100 years later, you've got the first team reaching the North Pole. And of course, 1969, we step on the moon. Every single one of these was about filling in a blank space on a map.
And this line from the story of Odysseus just nails it, doesn't it? I must know who lives on that far shore. It's that raw, powerful curiosity. It's not just about what's over there, but who. It's this deep need to see, to understand, and maybe even to connect.
And yeah, for a long, long time, the motivations were pretty straightforward. Explorers were trying to gain knowledge, find valuable resources, or claim new territory for their king or country. The goals were really clear, you could touch them, and they were often about power.
But what happens when the maps are, well, pretty much filled in? Does that drive just fizzle out? Absolutely not. We just redefine the frontier. So the question becomes, where are the uncharted territories of today?
Let's start with this number: 25 years. That's how long Saroo Brierley was lost, completely separated from his birth family in India. His personal frontier wasn't some faraway continent. It was his own past.
And the tool he used for his exploration, it wasn't a compass or some ancient map. It was Google Earth. This is such a perfect example of how technology has opened up totally new ways for us to explore. He was on a classic quest to find home, but with a totally modern toolkit.
And right here, in his own words, you can feel that same timeless spirit of an explorer. It became this methodical, patient mission. It took incredible dedication and focus, qualities that, honestly, would be familiar to any explorer from any point in history. Okay, so if Saroo's frontier was the past, our next one is all about the future. And this time, the frontier is the human body itself. Check out NASA's twin study. Astronaut Scott Kelly spent a whole year in space, while his identical twin brother, Mark, stayed on Earth as the control. The whole point was to explore what long-term spaceflight does to our biology, which is something we absolutely have to know if we're ever going to get to Mars. The uncharted territory wasn't a place, it was our own physical limits.
But here's the thing that has never, ever changed. Whether your frontier is a digital map, your own DNA, or a giant mountain, exploration is a struggle. It always comes with a price, and it's always a fight against some pretty tough odds.
Just look at what Samantha Larson was up against on Mount Everest. This list of dangers, it's not a one-time thing. It's a constant, relentless barrage of threats. The Khumbu icefall can shift at any moment, crevasses are hidden everywhere, your body is shutting down, there's not enough oxygen, and you spend weeks just waiting in one of the most hostile places on the planet. And this quote from her, man, it is just chilling. It shows you that in the world of exploration, there are zero guarantees. An area they had literally called safe one day just disappeared. The big takeaway here is that when you push boundaries, you have to accept that the rules can change in a split second. So that brings us to the million-dollar question, right? Why do it? After all that danger, the cost, the struggle, what's the ultimate payoff? Is it worth it in the end? And it turns out the answer is really different depending on who you ask. For Saroo Brierley, the reward was deeply personal. He found his family. He got closure. For NASA, it's priceless scientific knowledge for the future. For Lewis and Clark, it was about expanding a nation. And for Odysseus, it was just about satisfying that powerful human need to know. The reward isn't always gold. Sometimes it's just an answer. Which leads us to a very real, very modern problem. We don't have endless time or money or attention. So with all these possible frontiers out there, where should we focus our energy next? Let's look at one of the biggest debates right now: Mars versus our own oceans. The argument for space is huge, right? It inspires people, it drives incredible new tech, and it might help us answer the biggest questions about the universe. The catch? Some say it's an incredible waste of money, especially when robots can do it cheaper and safer. But then you look at our oceans. A staggering 90% of the ocean floor is unmapped. It could be hiding cures for diseases, maybe even solutions to water scarcity. So which frontier holds more promise? The debate is intense.
Okay, so after all of that, the history, the risks, the modern debates, let's bring this all back home. Because the spirit of exploration isn't just for astronauts and mountain climbers. It's in every single one of us.
Maybe this is the best way to define an explorer today. It's not about the destination, it's about the drive. It's about being fueled by curiosity and resilience to push boundaries, whether that's a physical boundary like Everest, an intellectual one like the NASA scientists, or a personal one like Saroo Brierley searching for his own story.
So in the end, the question we started with isn't really just about famous people from history books or astronauts in cool suits. It's about this fundamental human impulse that we all have. And that leads to a really important question for the future. In a world with so many challenges, should we be actively encouraging our kids to be explorers, to take risks, to ask hard questions, and to push into the unknown? And so that leaves us with one final thought. And this question isn't for humanity as a whole. It's just for you. What boundary are you curious about? What's your own personal Everest, your own intellectual ocean? What unknown territory, big or small, will you explore? Thanks for joining me.